by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
Good morning to you. Businesses nationwide get hit with bomb threats and a demand for money. Coming up, how this huge scam is playing out across the country and local connections, as well as one business in Bozeman was forced to evacuate yesterday. And also a Butte man makes his plea after being accused of fleeing from police and crashing his vehicle into a building. Those stories coming up in just a moment. I'm Missy O'Malley. It is 6:31 here on your Friday morning. Our own Chet Lehman will be reporting live from West Yellowstone in just a few moments. Our top story for you now: evacuations, fear, and overall disruption throughout the U.S. and Canada. That's what erupted yesterday after bomb threats were emailed to numerous companies and institutions. John Lawrence has our details.
There is no misunderstanding the message. It's a violent threat.
The subject said the device is inside your building.
Dozens of places in the U.S. and Canada received emails like the one Misty Acromas got Thursday, with phrases like, "If it explodes, there will be many wounded people," and "If the workday is over and people start leaving the building, the bomb will detonate." She called police.
I was asking if it was some sort of just a scam or a hoax of some kind, and he told me it's not something to mess around with, and he transferred me to the dispatcher.
An Oklahoma City police officer searched the building, and all clear was given a few minutes later. Among the other areas that received threats, New York City, Miami, San Francisco, Washington, D.C., and Toronto. In Brookhaven, in metro Atlanta, a threat came by phone. Authorities there soon confirmed the threat was a hoax.
This is just the nature of the thing. So, we just all not overreact to the situations like this.
The FBI issued a statement reminding the public to remain vigilant and to promptly report suspicious activities which could represent a threat to public safety. It's investigating the matter alongside local law enforcement agencies. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Now, so far, there are no actual reports of bombs being found. And here in the Bozeman area, police responded to multiple bomb threats at different locations. All of the threats were received through email. The first one was received at noon on Thursday. Business on Valley Commons Drive. Two more were received later, one on North Hanley Avenue and one on North Grand Avenue. All were determined to be fakes. And after checking with the FBI and other agencies, police found out that the bomb threats were being sent to businesses, schools, and hospitals all over the country, as we've just mentioned. Even though these threats turned out to be false alarms, Bozeman police say that they take every threat seriously. Crazy story there. More to follow on that. Matt Elwell joins us now with a decent start to the day. Still kind of chilly in some areas.
Temperatures aren't cool. We've got fairly clear skies with a few clouds streaming across the area. We're keeping an eye on areas to our west because there is a chance we could see some high mountain snow starting to move in. Our temperatures for the afternoon today into the mid to upper 30s. It looks like we're going to deal with windier conditions as you head toward the evening. We're going to break down your complete forecast coming up in just a couple minutes.
Thank you, Matt. It is 6:34. A top story for you now. Two people are in jail after an early morning robbery on Wednesday in Bozeman. 18-year-old Thomas Riley Wigley and 20-year-old Addie Caitlin Davis were both charged with felony robbery. According to court documents, the victim was robbed at gunpoint at Davis's home after the two had spent the evening gambling at a Bozeman bar. An investigation of Wigley's apartment turned up $2,000 cash and a gun matching the victim's description. Wigley and Davis are scheduled to appear in court on January 4th. And you can learn more about the complicated story involving this robbery, including how these were involved with each other, of course, at our website. And a 39-year-old man was sentenced this week to 15 years in the Montana State Prison for squatting in the Butte home of a military man while he was deployed in Iraq. Court documents say Eric Hunt stayed with his girlfriend in the serviceman's home for several weeks while he was deployed and sold some of his belongings. Hunt is also being accused of stealing a truck and shoplifting items from several Butte stores while free on bond. And a man pleaded not guilty to several felony charges in connection with police chase in Butte last month that ended up with him crashing a vehicle into a building. 31-year-old Fred Kutzinger pleaded not guilty to 6 felony accounts of criminal endangerment. He was arrested in November after police claimed that he led them on a high-speed chase throughout Butte and crashed into a business on Harrison Avenue. Kutzinger is accused of running from the vehicle and climbing onto the roof of a Domino's pizza shop before surrendering to police. He remains in jail on a $100,000 bond. And with all the growth going on in Bozeman, parking continues to be an issue, particularly in the downtown area. MTN's Patrice Parks has an update on what the city is trying to do about it.
On Monday, city commissioners will receive an update on the downtown strategic parking plan. This will take kind of a broad look at some of the city's goals for parking in the downtown area.
What I'm hoping, what the city hopes that our residents see is that we're doing everything we can to maximize our parking capacity in the downtown area and be as careful with our resources as possible. So we want to create capacity. That's a continuing engine for economic development in the downtown. We want to do that using our resources financially as wisely as possible. So I think you see that weaved throughout the strategic parking management plan.
The city is 30 days into a study that's looking at the feasibility of expanding the current parking garage.
Cost analysis on what it would involve to add basically additional parking to the existing garage, and what the cost of that would be, the time frame, and then how much new parking we could pick up by doing that. And again, that's just part of our effort to try and be as careful as we can with resources while adding capacity, parking capacity downtown.
Meese says the study on the current parking garage should be complete in the next 90 to 120 days. In Bozeman, Patrice Parks for MTN News.
Thank you, Patrice. Now it's time once again to check in with our very own Chet Lehman, broadcasting live from the Chamber of Commerce in West Yellowstone as they prepare for the winter season. Chet. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty there. We will check back in with them in just a few moments. Coming up after a quick break, we head back to West Yellowstone, where Yellowstone National Park is set to open for the winter season. Chet is live with a ranger in just a few moments. But first, here's Bianca Goladriga with a look at what's coming up at 7 right here on CBS.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS this morning, a record number of guns were discovered this year at airport check-ins and carry-on luggage. We'll reveal the results of an 8-month CBS News investigation into why it's happening and how some cases raise questions about security. And we'll look at the pros and cons of banning homework as more schools across the U.S. move to get rid of it. We'll see you at 7.